Look, I just don't want you to go out and do something crazy.
Don't worry about it. Riddle me this. You see, everybody want to make it to paradise, but don't nobody want to take the time out to follow the rules and the regulations that come with it. It's selfish. The mind frame is hard-headed.
Hard-headed.
I don't like to say.
Hard-headed.
You will burn.
Hard-headed.
I will cook you.
Hard-headed.
Power over everything.
Hard-headed.
Don't wait for me.
Hard-headed.
In the name of Hausa.
Hard-headed.
Cut that out.
Hard-headed. Devils in your temple, got your sins up to the ceiling. Trying to make a killing. We gon' need some healing. Right back where the bread tape got these demons in they feeling. Get up out your feelings. Get up out your feelings.
Spiritual battle. We all had Garden Eden moments like even Adam. It's spiritual battle. We all had Garden Eden moments like even Adam. It's spiritual battle. We all had Garden Eden moments like even Adam. It's spiritual battle. We all had Garden Eden moments like even Adam.
Wake up in the morning, hit your knees, gotta get it. Wait, I said that line already in the song. Just making sure everybody feel it. They come in to vex you and to possess you. Enticing with money, my treasures are stored up in the kingdom, marking the spot. Can you see an X2? Spiritual battle. We all had Garden Eden moments like even I don't need a landscaper to keep the grass cut low just to see a snake rattle. I rap every single thing I rap. You just wanna babble. When I turn around, they talking about me. That's backwards. We ain't playing Scrabble. Let's talk bread. You know the devil got a hard head. On the road to heaven, you be outside of Yah's will. Bike pigs, run out the world, all the things in it. I'm bruised looking for the authentic. Fake Jews still pointing fingers. Pop them off like nails. That's acrylic, but enough for them. Got a bunch of scripts for the toughest men. Let's bring them in. Satan trying to sift us as wheat. Get converted while your brother weak. Strengthen him. Let's be sober doing every hour. Your adversary, Hasatan, walk around as a royal lion, single who he made devour. Amen.
Amen.
The Bruce hit her back on this two-step. I move like a T-Rex. I'm on point like an index. My right hand defend me. I hyper-extended. You cover yours with the latex. Matthew 5:30. I use the scriptures. My past keep chasing me back. Run to the kingdom. Alice and Felix.
Spiritual battle. We all had Garden Eden moments like even Adam. It's spiritual battle. We all had Garden Eden moments like even Adam. It's spiritual battle. We all had Garden Eden moments like even Adam. It's spiritual battle. We all had Garden Eden moments like even Adam. Gang.
Hard-headed. 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 Hard-headed.
Yeah. Know some people that's dead. Know some people alive. A lot of family and friends still being led by the blind. Hey, they super plain Jane. Boy, the swag on right. Armor of Elohim. Demons can't copyright. All this wisdom in my teeth, but I don't backbite. Spirit in me like a flute. I'ma blow through the pipes. Left the Babel Tower. United with Yahweh. Yeah, hallelujah for saving me every hour. I'ma flourish, blossom. I feel like a flower. Even though they throwing shade like plant bowers. Bread tape. Well, sort of like a biscuit. Only difference is it didn't rise when I fixed it. I love the way we feast when it's you in 11. If you don't and you sin, then you in 11. I'm too straight in this truth, like the number 11. But that digit after that is what I be repping. Yeah, 12 tribes, 12 gates in heaven, one foot in, one foot out. That boy half stepping. Hey, we don't need no strife. We can make it right. All that pride got you swelling up. He gon' need some ice. To paradise, gamble with your life. I'm just trying to keep the laws right and get to paradise. That's that heaven life. Israel now, bearing fruit and it's right. Then the sun shine on that fruit. We call it limelight. Plant a seed, Elohim gon' water something tonight. Put 1,000 a flight. That's a high ticket price. The wages of sin is death. I just looked at the check. Lake of Fire is the only place you're cashing it at. Gotta fish them from that burning lake, bass in the net. I've been chosen since cradles and bassinets. Hold on. Brief in the mission, man on the mission. I feel like Solomon before he took the women. Men are rebellious, women are contentious. Spirit of man is a candle, let the burn continue. Knock on the door, who is it? Unclean spirit, strong man in the house. Won't let nobody enter. Tassel gang, Taurus strong. Equals nation building, working out my salvation on this earth, planet fitness. A few names to mention, a mission full of men. Shout out to Isaac, Jacob, now, and Abraham. Yeah. I am just a man on a mission. Yeah, I was shy. He was just a man on a mission. Yeah, we are just men on a mission. King David, he was just a man on a mission. Moshe was just a man on a mission. Yeah, we are just.
Hey, shalom, shalom, everybody. So again, welcome to another episode of Israel Now's podcast. This is your host Yahshua, along with my Agvak. So again, just want to say shalom, shalom. Thanks for everybody for listening in. Shalom, Ak. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
So we're gonna bring another good show for you, as always today, as we always do. Tonight's topic is Easter. We're gonna deal with Easter. I know it's like a few months out, but we wanted to get a head start on this thing, you know. So we're gonna bring a lot of information forward tonight, as we always do. And it's up to you to take heed to this information. It's up for you. You know, all we can do is put the information out. It's up to you to do what you need to do to the information. Because when you stand before the Almighty in the day of judgment, it's going to be you all by yourself, right? It's not going to be nobody else there with you. Nobody else you can blame. Nobody else. You can't phone a friend. You don't have no lifelines or no anything, right? It's going to be you standing before the great judge, the king of the universe. And the Almighty going to want to know, did you do the things that I commanded you to do? And that's something we all got to ask ourselves. So again, giving all honor and praise to the Almighty Yahweh. And I'm going to bring out a few scriptures concerning Passover. My Agvak, he going to break down the whole history. I'm going to bring out scriptures concerning Passover. He going to break down the whole history concerning Easter, because these 2 days, one is a holy day, one is a folly day, right? And these 2 days are always close by each other. They're always close by in proximity. Sometimes they can even fall on the same day. And we have a lot of our people that's choosing Easter as opposed to Passover. But at the same time, these people say that they go by the word of the Almighty that we go by. And we can show you scripture after scripture after scripture of where we should keep Passover. And there are no scriptures that say you should keep Easter. So that's what we're dealing with, Ak. So what you got as we start out, Ak?
Oh man, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, in a nutshell, I mean, I'm gonna be bring, like you said, you're gonna and again, man, we really gotta understand, and the reason why we do this is for, obviously we understand, but we want to try to get people to understand what it is that they're actually celebrating. You know, right. You know, if I invite everybody over my house and say I'm having a party, you just come to party, but then you find out on the way out the door it was my birthday. You then realize, like, oh, we came to celebrate his birthday, but you didn't know that when you first came in. You just received a chain message that said, "Pull up, food, drinks on me." And it's like, you know, we go through our lives, a lot of us, just doing what we were taught to do, traditionalism. You know what I mean? We just do what our parents did. They do what their parents did, but we never understand where it all came from. And with these lessons, man, we really just doing root cause analysis. We just asking why. Why do we celebrate this holiday today? Well, because our parents did. Why did they? You ask why enough, you're gonna get to the point where you can't say why anymore, and that's usually the root cause. And the root cause, we bring it out, and we just bring out the actual meaning behind these things. And the crazy thing is, when we look these things up, and this all the stuff we bring out is public knowledge. All the scriptures are accessible to everybody on the face of the earth. All the history we bring out is accessible and everybody on the face of the earth. With this, I mean, you log on to that, you can find everything we're talking about. So, and the crazy thing is, a lot of this stuff is already known by the leaders, in some of these churches. Like, they pastors know, they literally be knowing the roots of these things. But I heard, just had a conversation last night with and he was saying that the church he was going to, the pastor knew the history of all these things, and he took a poll, and the church voted to continue to keep these pagan holidays.
Right.
So in knowing that, man, we see that all of these things is about just pleasing people and keeping people comfortable. And all throughout our scriptures, we see that walking this walk is going to be uncomfortable.
Yep.
So that's all I got in the opening. You know what I mean?
Cool. All right, Doc. Well, we ain't gonna delay. We just gonna get right into it. So again, y'all, the topic tonight is Easter. So again, share this with anybody that you feel like needs to hear this. Share this with your family members that are not in the truth. Share this with, just share it all around. You never know who is gonna hit. So, I'm gonna just make it quick, easy, and painless. Then we're gonna get into the history. Because we've been going through different scriptures concerning different holy days anyway. Some of these Passover scriptures was wrapped up in there. So I don't feel the need to go into depth or anything. We're just going to show, a few scriptures and just lay the foundation. And then we just get right into the history of it. So I ain't going to be before you too long. I'm going to start out with the book of, let's see, the book of Exodus, the 12th chapter. Go there. This whole chapter is about Easter, but as not to get into all the details about, getting the lamb and killing it on the 14th day and all of this thing, I just want to hit one specific place. And I think it is, let me see where I want to go. I think it's around the 14th verse, but I might need to back up. Yeah. Well, yeah. So again, I'm going to just set it up. Exodus chapter 12. This chapter is concerning the Passover feast. I'll just get right to the point. Let's read verse 14 and watch what it says about the Passover in verse 14.
The book of Exodus chapter 12, verse 14, and it reads, "And this shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast unto Yahweh throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever."
Right. So, that's just self-explanatory. You shall keep it a feast by ordinance forever. Very strong words that the Almighty is saying here. This is for our people to take heed to, right? When you're on the day of judgment and you can't say, hey, I didn't know. The Almighty going to bring this to your remembrance. Some of my servants taught you that word. Some of my servants brought that out, how you should keep the Passover forever, how I commanded you to keep the Passover, right? So just a few more. I'm not going to be long at all. What I want to go through next is, let me think. Where do I want to go next? I guess I'll go to book of Leviticus chapter 23, verse number 5. Leviticus 23 and 5.
Chapter 23, verse 5, and it reads, "In the 14th day of the first month at even is Yahweh's Passover."
Cool. 14th day of the first month at even is Yahweh's Passover. Now let's hit Deuteronomy 16, verse number 1, 2, and 3. And then we gonna probably hit one more. Then we gonna hit y'all with the history, because I don't think our people, our people, even those that are not in this truth, they're not shocked by these scriptures anymore. They recognize the Almighty
Right.
has holy days in the scriptures, but I think a lot of them will be shocked by the history of Easter. A lot of them will be shocked by the history of what they've been celebrating, what it truly is, and where it comes from, right? So I'm gonna hit y'all with this scripture and one more, and then we're gonna be out of the scripture, and we're gonna hit y'all with some information you probably never heard. So go ahead.
Where we at? Deuteronomy?
Deuteronomy 16, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16, verses 1 through 3, and it reads, observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto Yahweh the Elohim. For in the month of Abib, Yahweh the Elohim brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. Thou shalt therefore sacrifice Passover unto Yahweh thy Elohim, of the flock and the herd, in the place which Yahweh shall choose to place his name there. Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction. For thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life.
Okay. So again, clear instructions concerning the Passover. Can't mess this up. We're going to go to one more place. Matthew 26, verse number 1. Again, some of these we have read over the past couple of weeks. So if y'all been following along, you should know these scriptures. Matthew 26, verse 1. Let me see. Verse 1 and 2.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 26, verses 1 and 2. And it reads, and it came to pass, when Yahweh had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, ye know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified.
So he said in 2 days it's going to be what? The feast of the Passover, right? Let's drop down and let's read verse 18.
Verse 18, and such a man, and say unto him, the master saith, my time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples.
So we clearly see that the Messiah kept the Passover with his disciples at a certain man's house. All right. So we seen it in the law. We now seeing the Messiah and the apostles keeping it, right? So the people can't say, well, that's only Old Testament. We see it in the so-called New Testament as well. The Messiah is keeping it as well. So with that being said, we can go all day long with Passover. We already know Passover is commanded. We already know the Messiah and the apostles kept it. We already know that this is scriptural. Now, what we need our people to do, the same thing we did in 5 minutes about Passover, we gonna need these preachers, these Pentecostal preachers, these Baptist preachers, all these people our people are listening to, they do the same thing in the scripture about Easter. They can't do it. That's why they never do it. But now we gonna give y'all the truth about Easter. So I'm gonna turn it over to Ivok. He gonna give y'all the history on this thing, and we gonna go from there.
Am I freezing up?
A little bit, but you coming back in. It's freezing up like a second or two, but then it's coming back in.
Okay.
You good right
okay,
now,
cool.
though.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, I want to bring out one more scripture that that I don't think a lot of people are familiar with. It's in the book of Jubilees, chapter 49, and verse 15. And it reads, and do thou command the children of Israel to observe the Passover throughout their days, every year, once a year, on the day of its fixed time. And it shall come for a memorial well-pleasing before Yahweh. And no plague shall come upon them to slay or to smite in.
Hey, if you can hear me, you breaking up. Can you hear me, Ak? All right. When you come back in, give me a second. Ak, if you can hear me, you breaking up. You might have to log out and come back in. Then we might have to try something a little different. Because you're breaking up long this time out. All right, sis, that last script he just read was the book of Jubilees, the 49th chapter, I believe, and the 15th verse. All right, 49 and 15 of the book of Jubilees. Okay. Yeah. You back, bro. Hey, you broke up for a long time that time, so you're going to have to read that all the way over, bro.
Okay. Yeah, the laptop got the tripping. Am I good now on the cell?
Yeah. You know
okay,
what?
Cool.
It look better on the cell and everything. Yep.
Okay, cool. Eyes handsome. All right. Cool. All right, cool. So I don't have my scripts on me and it's in my phone. I don't want to deviate from the screen because then it'll kick me out. It always do that. But do you got your apocrypha on you?
Hold on. I'm about to look it up right now. Jubilees 49 is where you was going, right?
Yeah, Jubilees 49 and 15.
Okay. Give me a second.
Matter of fact, I might be able to look it up on the laptop.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Yep, that's what I'm doing now. Just the 15th verse? Cool.
Yeah.
All right, I got it right here. It says, and do thou command the children of Israel to observe the Passover throughout their days, every year, once a year, on that day of its fixed time. And it shall come to pass for a memorial well pleasing before Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
No plague shall come upon them to slay or to smite in that year in which they celebrate the Passover. In its season, in every respect, according to his command.
So with that, I think I definitely didn't want to miss that one. Speaking about Passover, because a lot of times we'll see Passover and it'd be like, well, that means that's something that Israel did. That's just for them. It's just to commemorate an event that took place in Israel's history. Right. But we see here the gravity of keeping the Passover, the way that it was commanded for us to keep in every respect, and how it's protection. It offers protection for an entire year. For the duration of that year, we are covered by the keeping of the Passover. So I definitely wanted to make sure people understood how serious it was, because I don't think I've ever seen anything like that attached to any of the other feast days, on how just keeping one feast, you know what I mean, can literally cover you for the entire year. You went away. I don't know if I'm froze, you froze, we froze. Don't do a lot.
Okay, I'm good.
Hello.
I'm good. All right, can you see me? You hear me? Can you hear me out?
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep, we good.
Okay, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't want to keep going if I couldn't, if we was breaking up.
Yeah, we all good. My screen looking a little funny now, but we all good.
Okay.
Yep, we good. Go ahead. Hold on. I'm trying.
Okay.
No, keep going though. You good?
Okay. No, I was just saying. I don't think I've ever seen another feast day where, you know, it was set up on such a pedestal where it's to say that if we keep that particular feast, as we were commanded to do, then it offers us protection. It's a covering throughout the next 12 months or however long until that season comes around again. So, you know, I definitely wanted to just to bring that out, just so people understand how serious keeping the Passover is.
Right.
You know.
Absolutely.
You know. So yeah, I want to get into so just to jump into the history, man. This ain't gonna be long either, because it's funny how you mentioned, you know, how we've kind of been speaking about these feast days kind of repetitively for a while. You know, it almost comes up every single time that we do this particular podcast. Just as a lot of this same information I'm gonna bring out today comes up almost every time we speak about these podcasts, speak on these podcasts. And a lot of this history goes back to the same place, the same time, and it involves the same people.
Right.
And it's like, you know, we'll accept it for one, but we won't accept it for another. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it all stems from the same place.
Yep.
So just to jump right into it, the roots of today's Easter date back to ancient Egypt. Let me close this out. I don't want to dates back to ancient Egypt, right? It was a celebration of then it became so all the way back then, and then it became, as time went on, it became the celebration of a goddess by the name of Ishtar, who was the goddess of love, war, and fertility.
Right.
And this
spell it for him.
Oh, you're right. Ish ISH. I almost said it again. Right. So it's ISHTAR. So you see the similarities in just the names, but actually today's Easter is not a derivative from that particular deity or goddess or whatever you want to call it. It's actually from another pagan deity, which I'm gonna get into in a second. But with this particular goddess, the cult that would follow this particular deity around the time around that festival, they would practice sacred prostitution. So all the women would go into a temple and they would wait for people to come in and lay with them. And them doing that in this temple, they would receive a divine blessing, or they would receive money to pay off debts. So it's like, this was almost like Magic City. You know what I mean? Like, you owe somebody, come to Magic City, work it off. You know what I mean? So that was one of the,
it's like prostitution, like in Las Vegas, you know?
Oh man, you turned into a whole robot. Is that me?
Oh,
am I just hearing it that way?
I don't know. Let's ask the people. Can y'all hear me okay? Still the same thing? Can y'all hear me?
I can't see none of the comments on my phone.
Okay. I don't think they came up yet. I'll let you know. Can y'all hear me okay? Let me know. Let me know in the chat.
Okay, you sound way better now.
Okay.
So yeah, it was legal prostitution.
All right, thanks, sis. Okay.
What? Okay.
One sister said she can hear us both. Then they said yes, and they said I'm breaking up a tad bit.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like distorted for everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay if I can't necessarily hear it clearly. I just want to make sure that the listening audience can actually chime in and be able to understand what's being said. Okay. So yeah, this was a day of their nationwide legal prostitution.
Right.
Then it goes on. Then we go on to paganism. And we speak a lot about paganism. I don't think people understand what paganism is. Like, I don't think they understand. I think we need to really, one day we need to really dig into just paganism itself, and what it is, what it stems from, where it comes from, and it's crazy because the more that we do these, the more research we do into every one of these single topics, a lot more comes out. And like I tell people all the time, any question that you have concerning anything in this world, the answers are always found in the scriptures. So in doing this, I came across a lot of information, and I realized that paganism actually started with an individual in the scriptures. Noah's grandson, whose name was Nimrod. He formed the first full kingdom after the flood, and he established cities like Babel, which we know the story of Babel. They built a tower, and they tried to reach heaven and all of this stuff, and then the Most High struck it down, and everybody went their separate ways, speaking in different languages and things like that. Then Nineveh, we know how wicked Nineveh was.
Right.
A lot of Israelite congregations, they use Nineveh, the scriptures that actually speak about the fall of Nineveh, to say that it's America. Woe to the bloody city. I think that's in Ezekiel. Might be misquoting that, but boom, just type in "woe to the bloody city," you'll find it clear. So from there, when he died, his wife deemed him to be the sun god, and then from there, he became exalted by different names. The B word, big B, that we see all through the scriptures with them 4 letters, BAAL. Also, BEL. There's a lot of different spellings and pronunciations, but the root of it is a human being that was an offspring of one of Noah's sons. So that's the root of paganism, and we can spend a whole day, we can spend a whole hour or two just digging into the root of paganism itself. But for today, we're gonna go ahead and speak on Easter. So getting back to how Easter was portrayed in different places, the Babylons, they believed that that particular deity, they believed it's a sun god. They believed that these deities were hatched from eggs. They believed that a big egg fell out from the sky, fell into the Euphrates River, and hatched, and out came this deity. There's also beliefs that actually in Egypt, they believe that the sun itself was an egg, and that it was hatched, it was laid daily by their earth god. Just a bunch of crazy stuff, right? So we look at it and we ask, how did it get into out into today's society, into Christianity, whatever you want to call it?
So here lies the reason why they use eggs today in the modern day Easter celebration.
Mm-hmm.
People will wonder, why are they using eggs? What does that have to do with the Messiah's death, burial, and resurrection?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but I mean, it's so much more that goes into it. Like, it's so much more that goes into it. Just the egg portion. What we know today, as Easter, a lot of people put it on the Ishtar individual. It actually comes from an Anglo-Saxon, a European pagan deity whose name is basically the same. It's actually spelled Eostre, but it's pronounced the same way as that particular holiday, Easter, right?
Right.
Who is also a goddess of fertility,
right.
Associated with rabbits, because rabbits have a high sex drive,
right?
And they procreate rapidly, so much so that rabbits can actually procreate while pregnant. They can conceive while they're already with child.
Wow. So they already pregnant and can get pregnant again.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. That'll be scary. That's scary. I'm glad Most High ain't blessed us with that. Listen, I'm okay with that going to the rabbit, because man.
Hey, so are you going into the connection of I guess the whole Easter egg hunts?
Oh yeah. We're gonna get to the dirty in a minute.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So a part of and that's actually my next bullet point.
Okay.
So the festival of Easter, Easter was referred to as the festival of that deity whose name is the same.
Right.
And a part of
Yeah,
this
real quick. So some of the people listening to us may not know, because they might think you just don't know how to pronounce it. They may not know why, you know what I'm saying? You saying that deity, why you spelled it this and that. So let me just clarify real quick.
Okay.
We are actually when we say we keep the law, we actually keep the Almighty's laws. They're more than just 10 commandments. So one of the commandments the Almighty gave us is in the book of Exodus, the 23rd chapter, and I believe around the 13th verse. And it says, in all things that I've commanded you, be careful or be circumspect. The word circumspect means to be careful and make no mention of the name of any other God, neither let it be heard out of your mouth. So that's why we're just preferring to spell them and just tell you about the history instead of actually saying it. So I just wanted to clarify for those that may not know.
Right. Now I appreciate that for sure.
Okay.
Thank you. Lepage. I've been up and moving since 4 a.m.
Okay. Yeah, bro.
You hear me?
Yeah, I know how it is, bro. I got up at 5.
Man, yeah. So okay. Where we at? So a part of this, so a part of keeping this festival, it was the festival actually celebrated nature's rebirth. And it's kept around the spring equinox.
Right.
So this is when all the stuff starts sprouting, things like that. So it's nature's rebirth. And in doing this is where they celebrated it with sex rituals and all out orgies, right? So one thing that they would do, right, is the women would go hide. It was a modern day. It was an adult version of hide and go get it.
Hey, like, what did you say the woman go hide? I thought about like, hey, we used to play that when we were little.
Man, as soon as I said it, I was like, yep, hide and go get it.
Right.
Like I mean, but that's literally where it came from. And it's symbolic. It's symbolic of a sperm finding an egg and reproducing or conceiving. Okay. So that was the whole symbolism of you go hide, I'm gonna come find you.
Okay.
So how did the way that got tied into eggs being hidden and things like that and being found and gifted and things like that. That particular deity, the story behind that is that deity rescued a bird. And in order to keep that bird from dying, the deity turned the bird into a rabbit. To show gratitude, the rabbit then laid eggs because it's still, I don't know how it turned into a rabbit, but was still able to produce eggs. But the rabbit still had bird tendencies, so it laid eggs. When it laid eggs, it decorated the eggs and it offered them to that deity as gifts of gratitude. So that's why these people started to gift eggs to one another, paint eggs, do all these things, do the Easter egg. That's why that's a part of why the egg became so important. If you look up and the actual holiday was called, it went from the festival of that deity to Astara.
Yeah.
And in Astara, the pagans would decorate their houses with colorful eggs and all of these things, and they would do rituals with the eggs because in their belief, they could use this egg at this point in time and do a ritual with the egg and manifest certain things. You know what I'm saying? If you trying to get some money, you would use an egg to do that. You would offer this, you would decorate it and offer that egg to that deity, and then but you had to do it on that particular day.
Right.
You can look it all up. Look up Astara rituals, Ostara. Look up Astara rituals today, They got literal websites that you can go to and get the equipment that you would need to do these things.
Okay.
Like they still.
You know what's funny? I take notice that all the pagan deities, the humans need to feed them, but our Elohim feeds us.
Feed us.
You know what I mean?
Manna from heaven.
They all got to feed them. You know what I mean? They make plates for their deities and all this different stuff in ancient times, all the way down to the day. They got to feed their Elohim or their gods, but our Elohim feeds us. That's the difference.
Time. So all of these things that we bringing out, these things that have been going on way back in ancient times. So now that we have an understanding of the actual day, where it comes from and what it represents, we go into how it ended up in our society today.
Okay.
So back in there was a rebellion. The Jews rose up against the Roman Empire in 132 AD. Between 132 AD and 135, there was a rebellion where the Jews was rising up against Rome, and it was called the Bar Kokhba. Probably butchering that.
Probably Bar Kokhba.
Bar Kokhba. That sounds way better. Okay.
Bar Kokhba at that time was a god that a lot of our people thought was the Messiah.
Okay.
So remember at that time, around that time, our people was always looking and waiting on when the Messiah gonna come, when the Messiah gonna arrive. And a large portion of our people actually thought it was Bar Kokhba. You know what I mean? It's because a lot of them was looking for a military leader. Not the military leader portion is about his second coming, not his first coming.
Right. So it was referred to as the Bar Kokhba revolt.
Right.
And they rose up against the Roman Empire. They fought for 3 years, and the Roman Empire was being led. The Roman emperor, I think his name was Hadrian, Hadrian, Hadrian. He conquered the Jews. He conquered Israel, and he took over Jerusalem. When he took over Jerusalem, he obviously during war times they tore everything down. He then goes in and rebuilds it himself. But when he does, he expels all the Jews. Y'all got to go. All of their leaders, all of their priests, all their bishops, everything. He kicked them all out and replaced them with Gentile leaders, Gentile bishops, Gentile religious leaders, and things like that. So once he did that, here comes, as time goes on, and this is where that whole, because we spoke about it when we spoke about which lesson was that when we spoke about? Oh, when we spoke about the Sabbath, when we spoke about how they were trying so hard to separate themselves from Judaism.
Right.
That's why.
Right.
Because of the Bar Kokhba revolt. They like, you know what? We done with them. We gonna go ahead, separate ourselves completely. So that's where it all started. That whole separation. Then we go into 325 AD, the Council of Nicaea.
Okay.
This is when they moved. This is when they specifically, because everything else, we spoke before 320, 321, but in 325 AD, during the Council of Nicaea, this is when they moved the Passover from Abib 14th, and then it was moved from Abib 14th, or the 14th day of the first month, as it was commanded to be kept, to the Sunday. It moved to the Sunday, the closest Sunday after the first full moon that came after the spring equinox. So the spring equinox, then you wait for a full moon, and then that following Sunday is when you would keep Easter.
Right. So for the listening audience, what is the spring equinox? It means when there's 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness, right? It's usually set to around March the 21st. It could fall anywhere from the 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, anywhere in there. right? So that's the equinox that he's talking about.
Right. Right. So this is why every other holiday is always going to fall on a different day every year.
Okay.
But Easter is always going to fall on a Sunday because they wanted to ban themselves. They wanted to disband Judaism,
right.
And they wanted to cling hold to this most important day,
right?
To be on a Sunday every year,
right?
Because as we know, that Sunday is the pagan day of worship.
Okay, check this out. Now, some Christian that is listening to us right now, or that will listen to this podcast in the future, they're gonna say, so what if that's the pagan history? We're still celebrating, in their words, our Lord's resurrection on that first Sunday of, you know what I'm saying, as you explained, whatever it is, after the equinox, after the full moon or whatever. They're gonna say we're still celebrating his resurrection at the time that he resurrected. So if we even address that, and it's gonna be real quick, let you get right back to
I know right where you're going. I'm picking down what you're putting up.
Cool. Okay. So if we even address that, they believe that he died on a Friday night and he rose Sunday morning.
Right.
But his own word said that he will be in the grave, in the heart of the earth, which is the grave, for 3 days and 3 nights.
Both of them.
Meaning 3 daylight periods and 3 nighttime periods.
Yep.
You don't get 3 daylight periods and 3 nighttime periods from
Friday to Sunday
night death and a Sunday morning resurrection.
Exactly.
So that in and of itself lets us know that you're worshiping, straight in tradition and not in truth. But
exactly.
I throw that in.
No, that's good. That's good because a lot of our people and a lot of people that we bring this stuff out to, you gotta almost break it down into the most simple terminology as you possibly can. And for me, you can break everything down into numbers. You break something down into numbers, you can't, because one of the most famous cliches is men lie, women lie, numbers don't. You break something down into numbers, I mean, you can't deny that. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's only 2 nights in between there. So if he said he was gonna be in the earth, in the belly of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights, okay, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you missing a nighttime period. So according to what they believe, if they believe the scriptures, then he would have came back on a Monday. So they should be keeping Easter on Monday. It should be Easter Monday, not Sunday.
Yeah,
makes no sense.
You're right. Now, hey, check this out. Do you know? I think it is the Greek Orthodox Church. They actually keep it on the Monday.
Wow.
They still wrong. You know about the whole timeline, but at least they did add that extra day.
Right. They did the math. Math was mathing.
Right.
They
did the math. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man. So
we'll still tear that up too, because the scriptures let us know that the women came to the sepulcher early the first day of the week, and he was already gone. Monday is the second day of the week, so we can tear all that stuff up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at least they know how to count, like you said. At least they can count.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure, man. What else? Yeah, man. Yeah. Here's another interesting fact I found. In every culture across the world, where they don't speak English, anytime that they refer to the Passover or what English speaking countries call Easter, let's see, where am I at? In the Greek is Pascha.
Yeah.
In Italian is Pasqua. And Danish is Pasch. Pakwa in French. And obviously in Hebrew is Pashat.
Right.
But in all the English speaking countries, it's Easter. In all these other countries, it translates to Passover.
Right, right.
So, but in all of these European countries that speak English, they all say Easter.
Yeah.
That doesn't translate to
Right.
Passover.
Right, right.
Has no roots, no connections to Passover.
Right.
So, so just some key points to bring out, because I know it's always like a lot of information concentrated. So a few key points. Every other culture in the world, when they refer to Passover, Easter, it always translates back to Passover.
Okay.
The English-speaking nations are the only ones that use the term Easter.
Right.
That has nothing to do with Passover.
Right.
Easter itself comes from Astara, which is a festival that commemorates the pagan deity Eostre. So anytime you celebrate this, you celebrate that you're giving praises to that deity. You are partaking in a pagan holiday festival. The spreading of the eggs is attached to that pagan feast, and stories that go along with that pagan deity. As everything else in paganism, all of their festivals are just big nasty sex parties and excuses to get buck wild.
Right, right, exactly.
And then obviously you keep Easter when you keep Easter based on a law that was enacted by a pagan man that infiltrated the Roman Catholic Church.
Right. Right.
And it all started with the Roman Empire's hatred for the Jews.
Okay, exactly.
Which is who your Messiah was.
When our people realize that we are the Jews, we are the real Jews, and are still celebrating this thing that our enemies gave us because of their hatred for us.
Yeah.
Right? And if we really wanted to honor the Messiah's death, how do we do that? By keeping Passover. Passover honors his death. Passover is what he did to die for the sins of the people, taking the place of that Passover lamb and him shedding his blood on Passover to now be our sacrifice. Right?
Right.
That's why Paul said this. Let me read this verse out. 1 Corinthians 5 and 7. Check this out. Let me read this for the people. 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse number 7. This is important right here because we're going to make this connection. All right, it says this. It says, purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Christ, our Passover, is sacrificed for us. He's our Passover. So I wanted to bring that out, you know?
He's not our Easter.
Exactly. He's not our Easter. He's our Passover. Absolutely. Like all these things, man, are really simple. But the problem is, remember, just like in the days of Moses giving them the law, and what do? Keep breaking the commandments, keep doing X, Y, and Z. Y'all the same people today. All these people that are still in Christianity, that say they believe in this word, and they listen to our podcast week after week, and all we bring is straight facts, and you still go to church on Sunday, you're just like the rebellious children of Israel in the days of Moses. It's the same.
And you know, when I think about, you know, why people would still want to keep these days, it puts me in the mind of when Moses went up on Mount Sinai and Aharon was left in charge, and the people, they got weary because they didn't know where Moses was, if he was going to come back. They didn't know what happened to him. So they went to Aaron and said, make us a god. Give us something we can see. You know what I'm saying? Like they asked for that. Okay. Like give us something to worship.
Okay.
And Aaron, instead of being righteous and saying, no, we gonna worship the Elohim that we've been worshiping, the one that brought us out of Egypt, he like, all right, well, just bring me all you go and I'll make you a cow and you can pray to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? That is essentially what, and they just wanted something that they got identified with.
Right.
That is essentially what our people do today.
Yep.
In Christian churches, they want something they can identify with. It's easier to identify with a statue up on a wall that tells you that you can live your life however you want and just love people.
Right.
And once you're saved, you're always saved. You know what I mean? It's easy to identify with that. It's easy.
Right.
That's easy. But when you think about, you know, being tried by fire, only 1/3 would be around to be tried by fire. It's only a few that's gonna be tried.
Right.
And it's only a few of them that's gonna make it through.
Okay.
So if you see, and that's the first red flag to me. If I see churches on every single corner and they filled every Sunday, and I still see the world the way it is, I'm like, that's a red flag for me.
Right. Right.
I'm putting red flag emojis all across the screen.
Right.
Something ain't right.
Yep. That's real.
You know,
absolutely.
And that's all it is, man. People just want something they can identify with.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Because it's easy. It's easy to go to somebody and be like, give me a bull that I can come worship.
Right.
From there, I can pretty much make up my own rules. But Moses was giving you law. Moses was giving you stipulations. Don't do this. Don't do that. You better not do this. You better make this covenant.
Right.
Or you're going to be cut off.
Yep.
And with Aaron, it's like, all right, well, if y'all want to do that,
right.
It's just like that pastor saying that he took a poll and and asked his congregation, what y'all want to do? Y'all want to keep coming to church on Sunday, or y'all want to keep the Sabbath?
Right.
And he let the congregants tell him,
right,
man, I wish I would.
Right.
That's like one of the Waltons, the owners of Walmart, putting out something that asks the employees what they wanted. And then whatever the employee said they went with, boy, that company would be bankrupt in a month.
Okay, absolutely.
Everybody gonna say we want the minimum wage to be $27 an hour.
Yep.
We want 6 weeks paid vacation.
Yep.
Come on, man. If you are in a position of leadership, you have to lead.
Right. So is that church though? The church is just spiritually bankrupt as a result of it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And it's like it don't even matter. You know. To me, it don't matter how much them people follow you. At the end of the day, you doing exactly what Christ told you not to do. For if any man breaks one of these least commandments and teaches others to do so, he shall be considered the least in the kingdom of heaven. Like,
absolutely.
Who want to be homeless in heaven? That's crazy.
That's right. Absolutely right, bro. Yeah, man. So, you know, I think we'll have a short show today, man. Like I said, I didn't really have too much. I feel like we done beat them in the head with these feast days so much. Like, you know what I'm saying? If the people don't get it to this point, they ain't gonna get it.
Yeah, for sure. But I like the fact that we bringing them out like this, man, because it gives a more centralized view on each one. Like we seen how Christmas was perverted.
Right,
and how crazy that was, and how far back them roots go, and everything about it, each individual thing, and how crazy it was. Yeah. And now, you know, when it comes to Easter, it's like we see that this whole thing was built up. This whole concept was built on hatred for the people that your Bible speak about.
Right. Exactly.
Your scriptures speak about these people. You basing your life based off of these people. You preaching to your congregation about David and Goliath and all of these stories and Samson and all of these people. You know, you basing all of your doctrines off of these people, but the people that hated the people that you discussing gave you the holidays that you keeping.
Yep. In
the name of the God of the people that you preach about.
Yep. Exactly. That's right.
Like that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
Yep. That's how you know.
That's like a Crip starting to wear red bandanas. Like just hood. Like I just don't understand that.
Yeah. That's why, you know, we're destroying people, man. It's obvious.
Absolutely, man.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Wake our people up. So, you know. We got great work to do, man. Great work to do ahead of us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the brothers, you know what I'm saying? Israel now, we band together, do what we got to do. We got a great work ahead of us.
Yeah. And you know, that was a lot of the conversation we had last night, linked up with a couple of the ox, man. And it was just speaking about, you know, the difference at Israel now. You know what I mean? Like, we really banded together in every way, shape, and form.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, one of the ox was speaking about, you know, when he had a situation where he thought where he felt like he might die.
Yeah.
And in 15 minutes, a whole bunch of the ox pulled up,
right,
and just walked in the door.
right.
You know what I mean? And his dad like, hold on, like, and they wasn't backing down. Like, nah, we come to make sure he good.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? And it's like, we got each other in every aspect. You know what I mean? And when it's something spiritual, we got each other in every aspect.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It ain't no judgment in this house. We all human beings. We all know the traumas that we all suffer and being in this captivity for over 400 years. Yep. And, you know, and we all lift each other up and build each other. And when it comes to these scripts, man, we all edify each other.
Absolutely. Yep.
For sure. And it's all in knowledge and truth. And when there's a question brought out, ain't nobody being laughed at, ain't nobody being ridiculed. Right. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody being talked down on. Like, didn't you just hear what I said? Like, nah, like.
Exactly. Yep. And we built it like that on purpose, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we build, you know what I'm saying? Like a family. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's what we have. Like, we real family. So real
talk. Right.
Yep. Cool. So yeah, man, let's go ahead and close out, man. So, you know what I'm saying? We'll be back next week with something else good. Just wanted to kind of have a quick show today, but definitely bring something in front of the ears of the people. Give them something to ponder on, to go back and study. Do your own research. You'll find out everything we said tonight is true. Based on the scriptures and based on the history, it's just straight facts. And that's what we teach, scriptures and facts. But again, we just want to say thank you for listening in. Share this video on social media. Send it to your family members that's gonna be celebrating Easter in a few months. Hopefully this video can put something on their mind, and you know what I'm saying, the Most High could touch them through this video, and they could be able to come into the truth. Because every day people is coming into the truth. Just like in the book of Acts, it says they added daily to people that was in this walk. And that's what we do as well. Add daily to the people in this walk. So the Almighty can say to them as well, well done, thou good and faithful servant. And with that being said, we're just going to close out by saying shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom, people.
Shalom, shalom.
Love y'all, man. Be cool. Catch y'all.